Got me feeling like, oh, Thandie, when your character died, no one noticed. And they threw you away, oh, Thandie. Don't you know that Solo lost money? And no one needs you today, oh, Thandie. No one cares if you're black and broke ceilings. They just put you to the curb, oh, Thandie. Okay, what's up, guys? This is the Gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, we're going to talk about Miss Thandie Newton. Miss Thandie, don't call me Fig Newton. Miss Thandie Olivia Newton John. Miss Thandie Sir Isaac Newton. Okay, so anyway, Thandie Newton. She is making a little bit of noise in hindsight about the role that she played in Solo, another Star Wars story. All right. Wait, Solo, not another Star Wars story. That's what I used to call it back in the day. But anyway, Thandie has some rather harsh things to say about how she feels her character was treated. This sounds mighty familiar, doesn't it? But here it is. Thandie Newton, a black woman who had a chance to play in a Star Wars movie. And, she did that. She played the very, very memorable character of Val. Now, there's a Star Wars name for you, Val. Sounds like she works in a diner somewhere, but somebody thought it was cool to name this first black woman star of Star Wars. I know. Let's name her Val. So that's what she was. She was Val. Okay. So looking back on her time playing Val in Solo, a Star Wars story, she has some rather not nice memories when she reminisces about this, which is ironic because she was in an interview, right, for some new movie she's in called Reminisce. And while she was reminiscing, she was reflecting on her time with Star Wars in an interview with Inverse. So let me get into what she actually had to say about this, and I'll give you my opinion on it. Okay. Thandie said, I felt disappointed by Star Wars that my fucking character was killed. No, okay, she didn't put the F-bomb in there. And actually, in the script, she wasn't killed. It happened during filming, and it was much more just to do with the time we had to do the scenes. It's much easier to have me die than it is to have me fall into a vacuum of space so I can come back sometime. That's what it originally was. That the explosion, she falls out, and you don't know where she gone. So I could have come back at some point, but when we came to filming, as far as I was concerned, and was aware, when it came to filming that scene, it was just too huge a set piece to create. So they just had to blow me up and I'm done. But I remembered at the time thinking, this is a big, big mistake. She said at the time she was thinking this. Hold on to that, guys. At the time, this is what she was thinking. This is a big, big mistake. Not because of me, not because I wanted to come back, but you don't kill off the first black woman to ever have a real role in a Star Wars movie. Like, are you fucking joking? This time she did put the F-bomb in there. Now, guys, I never understood why she was tripping off herself in the beginning in the first place. All right, she's talking about the first black woman to have a real role in Star Wars. Now, excuse me, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the lovely and sexy Lupita Nyong'o is a black woman, and she had a role in Star Wars before Thandie Newton. I mean, am I right? Am I wrong? I'm just saying, am I right? Am I wrong? She did. Now, see, here's the thing about Thandie Newton. What she doesn't understand is that she's in the world of Star Wars. So you don't have to have a big-ass afro with a fist pick in your hair saying that you're a black woman. Lupita Nyong'o, a black woman, actually played Maz Kanata, who wasn't a black woman, but it was a black woman who was playing that role. You know what I'm saying? Because this is science fantasy. So this is what we're talking about all the time. There is no black, white. There's none of that earthly stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter. Like, the nationality or the race, or definitely the nationality of the character you're playing, because the chances are there is no such nationality in that galaxy far, far away a long time ago. Thandie, you should understand this, all right? And you should give respect to Lupita Nyong'o for paving the way for you. But no, you act like it's a slap in the face for all black people, when in reality, you are just mad because you're not going to be able to come back. You know what I mean? And come back for what? Your character wasn't shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? But what I found interesting about all of this is that, you know, your boy's been around for a while doing this shit, right? And I remember over 3 years ago, I called Thandie Newton out on this. I'll probably leave the link to that video in the description for all you people who are acting like I'm brand new at this shit. I've been doing this for a while, you know what I'm saying? And I remember over 3 years ago, I called Thandie Newton out because what the shit that she's saying here now wasn't what she was saying back then, okay? Let me read to you what Thandie Newton was saying back then. Now, she just got through saying that at the time, she didn't like the way it was going down. She had some issues with it. She had some problems with it. Well, let me tell you, let me tell you something, let me tell you. Okay? Back then, she wasn't saying nothing like this, all right? Let's see what she was saying back then. This is Thandie Newton, the very same Thandie Newton. You remember how she was before? Man, are you fucking kidding me? Now, here's the way she was 3 years ago. I felt excited that I could let go of my own personal resentment and frustration and feeling of hopelessness, frankly, Newton told Page 6 at the Tribeca Film Festival Westworld premiere on that Thursday, whenever that was, back in 2018, back in April somewhere. I just felt like celebrating every single day, and that celebration kind of was reflected in the way the movie felt, because it was such a great experience working alongside that cast. All right, so she said she felt great. It was a great experience. She felt like every day she was going to celebrate because she was so happy. Now she's saying that back then she felt like, are you fucking joking? But back in 2018, she was happy. She was like, I'm walking on sunshine. Ah, it's time to feel good. I mean, she was just happy. All right. She goes on to say, it felt brand new. The then 45-year-old actress told us, we were pirates. You know what I mean? It had that vibe of just rebels out there. And that's kind of what I feel like. Because in order to break glass ceilings, you kind of got to be a rebel. Rebels get shit done. So you said you were breaking the glass ceiling back then. Are you sure about that? Well, feel on your head. It might be, you might have hit your head a little bit too hard on that glass ceiling. You certainly didn't break it, honey. All right. And then she goes on to kiss J.J. Abrams' ass. She says, and remember, this is back in 2018. J.J. Abrams really started the conversation by casting John Boyega. Ha ha! And we all know by now how John Boyega feels about all of this. You know, it's funny when you look back on it because, you know, all those people who beat up on me, you know, when I used to talk about this, and believe me, I got the ball rolling on this shit because a lot of people were afraid to talk about it because they didn't want to be seen as racist or whatever. But, you know, I stepped up and I just said, listen, you're not doing black people any favors just by putting a black ass on screen, but not really fleshing out the character. I said it something like 5-6 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's like John Boyega, you know, Finn, glorified runaway slave. Get goddamn right. That's what I said back then. You know, and as far as her, you know, I was like, what the fuck is she even doing? Like the video's in there, man. Like I said, I went and put the video in the description, so you can check it out. But I was like, you know, she didn't really have much of a presence. She didn't have much of a role. All she existed to do was to put a feather in the cap of J.J. Abrams. And it's right here. J.J. Abrams started the conversation by casting John Boyega in Star Wars The Force Awakens, Newton said. I know it was really down to J.J. Abrams that John had that prominent role and really started it going. Like I said back then, of course, it had nothing to do with John Boyega's talent. No, it had to do with J.J. Abrams, much like Poe, just going to get John Boyega and being like, come with me, boy, I'll take care of you. You know, that's the narrative that she puts out there. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with talent, has nothing to do with the accomplishments of John Boyega. It was all J.J. Abrams. Well, where are you now, Thandie Newton? And where is J.J. Abrams? Where is Kathleen Kennedy? Where is Ryan Johnson? You know what I'm saying? Did they really open up the door for any fucking body? You know, I don't think so. You know, for all J.J. Abrams' big talk and Ryan Johnson's big talk about how we need more non-white people in here. What did they do? They did nothing but virtue signal. That's what they did. And they upped their own value. And they used your black ass to do it. I know it was really down to J.J. Abrams that John had that prominent role and really started it going. I'm so grateful to him. He's a single individual, and what he's doing in cinema is unprecedented. I wish it wasn't unprecedented, but it is. Oh my gosh, it's so orgasmic. So there she is, guys. There's Thandie Newton over 3 years ago. She sounds a little bit different than she does today, now doesn't she? I think what it is that maybe she's thinking that she's realizing that she was had, you know? And even if they do, with all of this talk now about maybe, possibly, for some fucking reason, having a Solo 2, I don't imagine why they would do that. All the people who are crying for Solo 2 didn't even fucking go to see Solo 1 because, as we know, Solo lost money. So where were you guys at back then? All you people who's calling for Solo 2, why didn't you support it in the first fucking place? You know what I mean? But I'm sure she's hearing this and she's thinking to herself, yes, Solo 2, yes. Oh, I wouldn't be in that. You know what I mean? You know, so now she's feeling a little bit bitter about it. Sorry about that, Thandie Newton. On to the next thing. You're a talented actress. Go find work elsewhere. Leave Star Wars alone because you ain't coming back to that. They used your ass and then they threw you away. The same as they did with John Boyega, the same as they did with Kelly Marie Tran, the same as they did with just about everybody. Everybody in that garbage ass sequel trilogy. Nobody made out right. And nobody made out well, you know, in that whole thing. You know, why should you be any different? But guys, it's quite ironic. And I just wanted to point that out to you guys for everything she's saying now, all this bullshit she's saying now. She wasn't saying none of that stuff back then. Who was? It was me. Okay, that's who it was. And there was a lot of guys out here and a lot of girls in the fandom menace back then who were getting started who was calling this shit out. And we had to take a lot of fucking shit over it. You know what I mean? And that's what burns me up because these guys knew. They knew it wasn't shit when they were doing it. But when the fans talked and spoke out about it, you think they could have got our back? You think they could have said something, you know, back then? No. So I don't want to hear it now. Thandie Newton, kiss my ass. All right, guys. So anyway, you guys can get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about all of this. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Catch me on the next one. Thank you for listening. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on. Oh, Thandie.